Hello students, today we will discuss about respiration in organism. So what is respiration? Basically it is a biological process in which there is oxidation of the food and release of energy. So food is oxidized and energy is released. Whatever food we take, it gets combined with oxygen and it releases energy basically. So food is C6H12O6, that is the glucose, and it gets combined with oxygen because we undergo aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a type of respiration which happens in the presence of oxygen, okay, because we inhale oxygen. So human beings undergo aerobic respiration because you know there are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Anaerobic means without oxygen, aerobic means in the presence of oxygen. So now what happens when glucose burns, because of the oxygen acts as a fuel and it burns glucose. And why it burns glucose? So that we can get the energy, So this is all about respiration. So respiration is burning of food and release of energy. And who is burning the food? Oxygen is burning the food basically. Here in case of aerobic respiration. If it is anaerobic respiration, so we can get the energy even in the absence of oxygen, although in anaerobic respiration the amount of energy gained is comparatively very less. Okay. So this is the difference. So main thing is the difference between aerobic and the anaerobic respiration. If you see here, glucose is there, and with the use of oxygen, carbon dioxide, water and energy, three things are the products which are formed here. So this one is aerobic respiration. First one is aerobic respiration. Glucose plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. A lot of energy is released in case number 1. Case number 2, that is anaerobic respiration. So what happens here? Same, glucose undergoes the change respiration, that is anaerobic. Anaerobic means without the use of oxygen, and ultimately what is formed? Energy is produced, but very less amount of energy is produced compared to the energy produced in aerobic respiration. And carbon dioxide and alcohol, they are also produced. So today we have learnt about respiration, and we have learned that respiration are of two types. One is aerobic respiration and another is anaerobic respiration. Then next one is the cellular respiration. Why it is called cellular respiration? Respiration is also called cellular respiration because it happens in the cell. Cell is the place, and all the cells of your body, our body is made up of cell, and in every cell what happens? Food is present, okay, and oxygen is also there, and oxygen burns the food and energy is released. You must be wondering how the food has reached to the cell. So food has reached to the cell because of the blood. Blood transports food. In the blood vessels, blood is fluid, it can move, and it takes the nutrients from the digestive system and takes it to the cell. Same way, again the oxygen which has come here in the cell for burning this food, it has come from the respiratory system, and from the respiratory system the blood picks the oxygen and takes it to the cell. The moral of the story is respiration is also called cellular respiration because respiration takes place inside the cell where the food has reached, oxygen has reached, food has reached from the digestive system via blood, okay, via means through blood, and oxygen also has reached to the cell via blood only from the respiratory system, and it burns them together. Now next one is about yeast. Yeast are the single celled organisms. They respire anaerobically, and during this process they yield alcohol. They are therefore used in wines and beer. So wines and beer are produced because of the yeast. Yeast are the fungus. Yeast is the single celled organism, or it is a kind of a fungus basically, and it respires anaerobically. Anaerobically means without oxygen, and when it respires anaerobically, it produces alcohol. You must have seen in this slide where I have shown you, this is the anaerobic respiration basically without the use of oxygen. So, glucose undergoes anaerobic respiration and yeast is required here. So, we add yeast and yeast acts on the glucose, okay, and it does not need any oxygen for respiration, and ultimately what is the product form? Alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy, and we know energy will be comparatively lesser as compared to the energy produced in first case, that is aerobic respiration, okay. So, now we know that whenever wine and beer they are formed by the yeast undergoing what kind of respiration? Anaerobic respiration, where they respire without the use of oxygen and they produce alcohol, carbon dioxide and little bit of energy for them, okay. So, this is alcohol is wine and beer only. So, this is a big industry where yeast is used. Yeast is a single celled organism, or you can say it is a fungus basically. Now, another example of anaerobic respiration, we have got two examples of anaerobic respiration. One is of yeast and second is in our case also. Although I said that we undergo aerobic respiration where oxygen is required, but sometimes our muscle cells, if we do rigorous exercise like this man is running, okay, so during exercise some muscles may respire anaerobically. So, instead of respiring aerobically, sometimes our muscles can respire anaerobically. Why they will respire anaerobically? Because obviously once we are running or the moment we are running, there can be shortage of oxygen. So, whenever there is shortage of oxygen and glucose does not get the enough supply of oxygen, it ultimately shows that it is anaerobic respiration. So, anaerobic respiration in muscle cell produces lactic acid and a little bit of energy, okay, and that is why you must have felt muscular pains or muscular cramps whenever you run a lot or whenever you walk a lot, because that time your muscles they do not get enough supply of oxygen, and instead of undergoing aerobic respiration they readily undergo anaerobic respiration because they need some energy, although that energy is lesser, but to compensate the fatigueness or the tiredness, they need some energy because that time you are running or playing, but later on you feel that pain in your legs or arms because of the production of lactic acid, okay. So, there are two examples which we have learnt about anaerobic respiration, that is in case of muscle cell and yeast cell, and one case that generally happens in every cell of our body.